We are controlling transmission.
Yee-hoo! Having trouble with a lever?
You're listening to Nightmare on Film Street. The current time is 6:66. Traffic is clear ahead from here to the afterlife, but it's hell outside. For the next hour, you're on Nightmare Time. So, let's give a grave welcome to our hosts, John and Kim.
Hello again, fiends, and welcome to Nightmare on Film Street, the horror movie podcast for the casually obsessed. I'm John.
I'm Kim.
And we're here today to talk about one of our favorite Space Invader movies, one of our favorite horror movies involving a space invader.
Who invades spaces.
We are talking about Ridley Scott's Alien from 1979.
John did not like the double entendre that I was pushing with that title, but I think it works. I think there's a lot of personal space being invaded in both of the films that we're doing in this double feature, so take that.
Yeah, heads up. Next week, we're going to be talking about The Thing, which is a movie about an alien who invades some tighter spaces.
Is it? No.
Okay, yeah, you know what? Let's save that. Let's save that for next week. At the very least, you've probably seen both of these movies, but if you haven't, now's your chance to prepare for next week. We're watching The Thing. Feel free to watch it for the 100th time. But, you know, if you're watching either The Thing or Alien for the first time, based on our recommendation, Kim, what are three good things about Alien for anybody who hasn't seen it yet?
Ooh, off the top?
Yeah. Unprepared, by the way. You do not have them written in front of you.
No.
I'm sorry for springing this on you.
No, it's cool. There's a cat that makes it, spoiler alert, all the way to the end.
Okay.
That's something optimistic to look out for if you're watching this for the first time. Don't have to worry about that cat. Put that on the back shelf. Cat's fine.
Sure.
2, Ripley, she's dope. She's so fucking cool. 3,
Who's Ripley?
Ripley is Sigourney Weaver in the most badass role of her life, even though there's many. And she's just kick-ass. She's real cool. She's a stickler for the law. And the law being the handbook or whatever.
Got
the
it.
Nostromo handbook.
Bring this home, Kim. So if you've never seen Alien before, you've heard lots about it. What's the real reason you should be checking this movie out if you've been putting it off?
Point 3, the alien, the titular alien, is terrifying. It comes in many shapes and forms, if those haven't all been spoiled for you. Each iteration, super dope, super terrifying, sometimes a little funny, but gets you with the scare.
Okay, so there you go. No spoilers, except for the cat thing. If you haven't seen Alien yet, that's exactly why we recommend you check it out. If you've seen it before, or you're just too scared to even bother trying, the next half hour is going to be full spoiler talk about a movie from 40 years ago.
Prepare yourself.
Before we get started, though, Kim, a question I like to ask you every Thursday. What's keeping you creepy this week?
Well, I know what's not keeping me creepy this week, and it's the Scream movie that everybody is seeing, except for what feels like Ontario. So here where we are, theaters are closed down because the Omicron variant is raging hard, and Ontario likes to just, shut down all the fun shit, which, you know what? I don't envy them. They have a really hard job. I'm not going to complain about politics here. All I know is that I can't watch Scream. It's only available in theaters. So for the time being, I'm just not going to be on fucking Twitter. So if you want to talk to me, don't.
Send a carrier pigeon and do not send Scream spoilers.
I will be filtering the Scream hashtag on Twitter, any Scream related words on Twitter. No, Sidney Prescott. Don't tweet at Sidney Prescott to me because I will not see it. I'm muting all those words. I have no idea how we're going to, eyes on the prize, get to the end of this wave so we can see this movie unspoiled. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm sure we're going to know
I'm really worried about that.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to know who the killer is before we get a chance to see it. But for those of you who get to enjoy Scream this week, I am very, very jealous. I'm so stoked for you. I am very pumped for it.
Oh, yeah, I am living vicariously. The horror community on the internet is buzzing right now.
People are high on the Scream marketing. They've done a really great job. All of the artwork.
That new fucking poster, right?
Everything has been so... I'm just a sad sack right now, though. I'm just like, meh.
Oh, my Scream.
Meh. But in terms of what's actually keeping me creepy this week.
Oh, right. Sorry. I was giving you the signal like, ask me what's keeping me creepy. I forgot that we haven't actually gotten to your point.
Yeah, so I've been binging Yellow Jackets. I just kind of caught the wave. That's another one that, for lack of a B or term, everybody on the internet has also been buzzing about. Is just like how dope this Yellow Jackets show has been. I knew nothing about it, and I love going into things like that. Mm-hmm. And surprise, surprise, it's a little bit of a horror series. It's starting to get a little weird and scary. 9 episodes in. I think that might be the end of the season. I'm not so sure. It's Showcase for those of you who have Showcase. If you're in Canada, it's on Crave on demand. That's how I've been watching it. It's got Christina Ricci in it, and maybe her best role in a really long time.
She's pretty great in the show.
She's so good. The show has definitely got some dark underbelly that it's really working towards revealing, and you maybe sort of think it's about teenage girls who go cannibal. So that's what the straws we're pulling at with this show. And so if you're a fan of anything like that, I would say it's got that like Lord of the Flies kind of, kids get lost in the wilderness and they maybe start eating each other. But
we're not sure yet.
Yeah, there's definitely some ritualistic aspects to it. I think they might be fucking witches, but we'll see.
That'd be rad.
That's my prediction. That's my guess.
That's going to be a good season finale if that's what we find out this week. This week, right? The season finale?
I have
or is
no
it already
idea.
wrapped?
I have no idea. I'm in that state of my life where I'll just turn the TV on, and if there's content for me, I enjoy it, and if there isn't, then I just, pet my dogs and go to bed. That's where I am emotionally.
One of the biggest pieces of content that I have enjoyed this week is...
we have to stop saying content. It squicks me out.
Yeah, we're just out here enjoying content.
Give me that content.
Yeah.
Ugh. We're like junkies.
Yes.
Carry on.
I've made peace with it. It's fine. And how I'm getting my fix this week? What's keeping me creepy? The new trailer for Ty West's X. The first trailer for Ty West's X. Ty West, a director who brought you The House of the Devil.
Dope.
The Innkeepers.
Also dope.
That really creepy segment in VHS.
I think that was dope. I don't remember it.
That's the one where they're on the honeymoon, or they're on their second honeymoon.
That was pretty spooky.
It was a pretty spooky one. P.S. The directors of the new Scream movie have the best segment of VHS, the first VHS, the Halloween night teddy bear cam.
That one is the best.
Yeah, those are the guys that are bringing you the new Scream movie. I'm sorry. Either way, Ty West has a new movie coming out. It's called X. It's an A24 movie. Hits theaters mid-March, March 18th, I think.
March-ish.
Yeah, may have a surprise premiere at South by Southwest. That'd be my guess. But it looks very Texas Chainsaw Massacre inspired.
So Texas Chainsaw-y.
Rather than a group of kids that are going to visit a graveyard in Texas, we got a group of young people making porno. Yeah, so they rent out a farmhouse, and they haven't exactly told the people that they're renting the barn from what they're shooting, and it seems like things take a turn for the worse once they, 1, are discovered, and 2, the mom of the house
and go out at night?
Starts, yeah, being a weird, creepy, sundowny type monster person.
I was gonna say, from the trailer, gives me the Texas Chainsaw Massacre a la 70s meets M. Night Shyamalan's The Visit.
Yeah. I'm about that.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Totally.
So I would highly encourage you to check out that trailer.
Also, Mia Goth and Brittany Snow in like 70s porn star makeup.
Yeah, man.
Like with the big hair and the blue eyeshadow. I'm so pumped.
Can't wait for it. Rompers, short shorts, high-waisted jeans. It's all there for you in that trailer.
I'm so stoked.
Before we get into the alien discussion, just a quick little heads up. If you are listening to this the day that it drops, Thursday, January 13th, we will be hosting a live stream tonight in the Fiend Club at nofspodcast.com/Fiend Club. We're watching Scream 4. We're helping you guys get ready for the new Scream movie. We're living vicariously through you. We're avoiding any spoilers that anybody might have in the chat who snuck out to see it in a matinee Thursday morning.
Yeah, if any of you have seen the movie, you come to that live stream, you better be so on your best behavior.
Half the people that are in the Fiend Club Discord channel that can't make it are going to see
like,
Scream
sorry,
that night anyway.
Already got my ticks. I'm like,
You're like, I'm so happy for you, you jerks. But yeah, please join us. Chat with your fellow Fiends, laugh it up. Revisit the franchise that started it all before seeing the new Scream. Come watch Scream 4 with us. If you haven't seen it in a while, it is a highlight of the franchise. I don't know where I would put it, but I think like every movie, it's tied for first or second place.
Every time I watch the fourth one, it gains kind of ranks in my opinion. Every
yeah.
single time. I'm interested to see it again now and then to be able to compare it to the new one whenever I get to see that one because it's got some kind of creative, like, this is a reboot, but is it a reboot elements at play because it plays with what a horror franchise is. So definitely fun to revisit before the fifth one.
Hell yeah.
That is what's keeping us creepy this week. It's time to talk about Ridley Scott's Alien.
After a brief message from our sponsors, please don't touch that dial.
Attention to the crew of the commercial vessel Nostromo. A word of warning. A word of warning. A word of warning. Alien. Coming this summer to a theater near you.
From 1979, Ridley Scott's Alien is currently sitting at an 8.4 out of 10 on IMDb, 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, 89% on Metacritic, and 4.3 out of 5 on Letterboxd.
So I'm just going to go out the gate here. There's something to be said about the opening of this movie. I'm sorry, I'm smacking on my hand if you can just hear. Like, I'm making a point here. I took notes while we watched this.
Did you actually?
This is the only note I took.
Okay.
Is that it opens like a fucking opera. That it's like
a space opera.
I wrote down space opera in my notes app.
Okay.
Yeah, it reminds... This is gonna be so out of left field for anything else we talk about. So, like, this is the first time you're listening to the podcast. I promise it's never this highbrow, but it reminds me very much of William Shakespeare's *Midsummer's Night's Dream* when all of the main characters wake up on the forest floor because, like, I don't know, the fairy Pippin was like, "I'm gonna drug y'all with love," and then they all wake up and they're like, "Yeah, that's Alien." They all wake up out of their pods, to this. Space opera. Oh, God.
And Mother is the fairy pixie person who's awoken them.
I don't think this is a hot take, John. I'm sure that we are going to find so many essays on how Alien is just Midsummer's Night's Dream with lots of death.
Sure. And Kane and the facehugger, they locked eyes with each other, fell in love, inseparable from then on.
They got married and they lived happily ever after with their weird blood.
Okay. Sure.
I just think the beginning is like so operatic with, one, the music choice, and two, how we are not starting on a character. The camera is like sweeping through the setting and stuff.
Okay.
It just reminds me how when you see a play, typically you open up on like an empty stage and your actor walks in.
Huh. Okay. So I don't know if this is necessarily like tacking on to what you've said there, but like one of the things I really like about Alien is how slow it is.
And I'm like, this must be a play from yonder ages. Look at how slow it is.
And I knew that going in. Like, what I really do love the pace of Alien. It is a slow ass movie, and I think that's what makes it so creepy. I think that's what makes all of the scares so effective. But part of me is always curious what movies like this play as to a younger audience. So I tried to think about, like, what's a snotty 14-year-old going to say about this movie? And definitely, it's slow as fuck in the beginning.
What I like about it, though, in terms of its slowness, is just that it's a very quiet movie and it's very still otherwise. There's not a lot of characters. There's not a ton of dialogue. So all of the major events, there's quite a few turning point events that are so... They seem so monumental because they tentpole the film. Like, you have the beacon, and then you have the we found the eggs, and then you have the face hugger. It really grabs your attention because the film is so quiet otherwise. Like, it prepares you so, oh shit, something's really happening. I better zoom in on this.
Yeah. It's gotta sort of like float through the scenery pace. Is
that because it's in space?
Yeah, I think it's because it's in space. Sure, yeah. I think it's also just like, no one's gonna run outside and chase a cab down and like whip down to the library to learn something. Like, everything is happening here and everything's happening within these walls and there's nowhere else to go. And I think part of that slow stillness is just what makes it utterly terrifying.
Mm-hmm. There isn't really a lot of time to prepare, though. They are going right into protocols, more or less, because you'll find out as you go through the film that protocols aren't necessarily being followed, and they're just trying to make their best judgment calls based on their roles. And that's where a lot of the characters butt heads, and that's where you get kind of the conflict between the different characters, which I really enjoy because we don't have to get into a lot of unnecessary backstory, which most films you're learning a bit about your characters, and the fact that we don't know a single thing about these people other than what their role is on the ship and how they react to the situation. That's all you know about them.
That's a really good point. Yeah, you get like one breakfast with them and then you've essentially learned everything about the crew.
Yeah, and I think that's why I like Ripley so much, because maybe I see a lot of myself in her, that she's like not a stickler for the rules, but she's just very, well, this is what we're supposed to be doing, so this is how we should be doing it. And like, I see that in myself where I'm like, why are you guys deviating from the plan?
Is this now suddenly like a COVID movie for you, or she's just like, if you break quarantine, you endanger us all?
Well, and you're just seeing how flippant they are with it, and you're like, yeah, I get that. I see that. I see how this happened. I get how this occurred.
I mean, it also helps that Ripley's just got like a huge perm. Like, I think you would die for that hair right now.
In her outfit, she looks so bad.
We didn't make it more than a halfway through this movie before Kim was like, I gotta get a green jumpsuit. Like,
I'm sure somebody's already made the patches.
Definitely. Surely to God, in at least a year or two, we'll be able to go to Disney and just buy the whole thing.
Oh my God, can you imagine? You go into Tomorrowland and there's like an alien store?
Fuck, that's what they should be doing with the Star Wars pavilion at Halloween. They should be turning it into Alien.
Yeah. Fuck.
That'd be great.
They just need to open a Universal Studios-ish wing of the Disney properties that they've acquired that aren't kid properties. Like, this is the 13 and up Disneyland.
Wow, can you imagine
Disneyland Intense.
An amusement park that has age restrictions. That'd be rad. This is going to be a scary-ass ride.
Yeah, you leave all the kiddies at Magic Kingdom and you're like, bye-bye!
Oh, you can also use swears. Like, that's the other thing.
You can have swears here.
No alcohol in the park, but everyone's allowed to say swears.
Buying shot glasses that say poo and ass.
So yeah, this crew of just regular-ass workers, basically, because that's the thing. Like, they are essentially truckers
This
in
is
space.
like a blue-collar ship.
Yeah. They're woken up before they've reached Earth because there's a distress beacon somewhere in the middle of nowhere that they've got to go investigate.
And capitalist protocol says, investigate that beacon. Could be money on that beacon.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get back to the capitalist part because that's the real villain of the movie. But they go down to this planet. It's immediately a horrible place. Like, it's windy, it's dark, no one wants to be there. But this crew's kind of got balls of steel. And like, they go down and then there's just caverns, like a gigantic city space, and these huge alien skeleton. I would have left right away.
Fucking chill about it. The one girl is like, yeah, I don't feel right about this. And then the one dude's like, hey, I found this warm, damp place I'm gonna go in. And you're like, warm and damp doesn't sound good.
There's a whole section of this movie that is 15 minutes long, and every 30 seconds, you're like, that's where I would have turned around. That's where I would have went back to the ship. That's where I would have said no. Like, I do not understand some of the decisions that Kane makes, and that's why he ends up getting a fucking alien stuck to his face.
1, 2, skip a few. He pokes an egg and it opens.
he puts his flashlight against that egg, that gross, disgusting looking thing. Love it.
Looks so fucking dope, though.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
But there's very clearly a live, squiggy alien inside of it. And I don't like any of it.
They saw the dude upstairs. They know how big it gets.
The fun thing about this movie is you got to remember that these characters don't have any understanding of the Alien franchise. They've never come across a thing that bleeds acid when you cut it. They've never had any of their friends face hugged and chest bursted. No one's ever been eaten. So
I understand that, and it's also weird kind of coming into be like, okay, well, I guess they're in a world where other life forms are a thing. They're there not necessarily to rescue humans. They're there to go investigate this potential intelligent life that sent off this beacon, because obviously you have to be intelligent life to set off that beacon. So the fact that they're like so blasé about it is hard to get over, especially when they bring a guy back on the ship who's got a face hugger attached to him.
So you think they've come into contact with other aliens, but they're all
Not
like
necessarily these people specifically, but I think there's got to be some understanding and knowledge of alien life because just because they have protocols about quarantine and la la la.
Also, they aren't amazed at the sheer fact that there's another ship that's clearly made by an alien person. They're not just like, oh my god, we're not alone in the universe.
That's what blows my mind about Alien, I do not think we talk about enough, is that these aliens are intelligent.
You still don't understand what you're dealing with, do you? Perfect organism.
The thing I like the most about the first movie is that it leaves you with so many questions. Nothing's answered. You don't learn anything about where these things came from. You don't learn anything about the dead alien that they find near the beacon. There's no investigation into learning anything about them.
Well, there's
but
nobody left.
Yeah, there's who you gonna ask, right? But I just like how unclear everything is, and you are left to build your own sort of mythology. That's what makes it like the perfect organism. You know, it's just like one of it.
It bleeds acid.
Yeah. That's all it is. Ash is just like, it's just fucking metal, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, are its teeth metal? Because it shows its inner, it's got a mouth that it opens to reveal another mouth that I swear to gosh is metal.
It looks metal. It definitely, yeah.
And it's like...
It looks metal.
Some fava
it doesn't
beans
have
and a
eyes.
nice Chianti.
It doesn't make any sense that it would be born into life with metal, but I'm fine with it. It's an alien. It's again, more questions than answers, but it all seems to work in like a nightmare logic-y kind of way where you just accept it. You're just like, fuck, it's alien, man.
Well, yeah, because it can live on whatever the atmosphere of its planet was. It can live in this optimal oxygen tank that the humans have brought along. And for a while there, it's shot out into space at the end and seems to be flailing fine.
Yeah, he looks like he'd thrive anywhere. Damn. And there's that, I don't remember what that thing Ash said about the skin of it, about how it sheds its skin very, very quickly and replaces it with like some sort of silicone fucking thing. But the point is, like, it's good to go in any environment by the sounds of it.
Like, so you think that's why it evolved after it chest bursted, was because it was acclimating to the environment?
I don't know.
Because it got big real fast. Like,
I think he real fast and had to eat nothing for it. Like, goddamn.
He just hulked out of his little skin. He was just like, boof, and then he was all shoulders.
Yeah, and so here's the thing. Harry Dean Stanton, when he dies,
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Harry Dean. When he goes looking for Jonesy the cat, he finds the schluffed off skin that it's hulked out of.
The droppings.
And it's not like he found 18 versions of it where I had to keep growing and growing and growing. It just like bursted out of that one set and just like just like became the fucking xenomorph, right?
Yeah, it got real big. I love the gestation of the creature.
Sure.
I just love the different stages of it. I think.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because this is one of those movies that predates me, so I never got to be surprised by it. But
yeah.
I don't know if we'd seen a lot of different iterations of an alien before, and that it would go through different stages. One that involves human beings as a host.
Hell yeah,
is
man.
Pretty fucking cool. The chest burster, when he comes out, he's all small and he's kind of adorable when he squeezes off and he's like, hee hee, with his tiny little mouth.
I don't imagine that he was adorable in 1979.
No eyes.
It is one of those movies in a long line of classics that you just don't know what it was like to not know anything about it.
Mm-hmm. Because the movie is not played for yucks. Like, it's super haunting, and every time we see the xenomorph, especially when he's fully formed in his adult-sized body, he's terrifying because he pops out of the darkness. Like, he gets some really good jump scares. When he kills Dallas, when Dallas drops down, he's got the flamethrower or whatever, and he jumps out of the darkness with his, like, huge man paws. You're like, fuck! I legit had a jump, but left couch for that moment.
You know, if you want to be less scared of the alien from Alien, all you gotta do...
Do you have a factoid, or are you...
Yeah, it's kind of a factoid.
Okay.
Honestly, this is not, like, unheard knowledge. I think,
give me the hot goss, John.
I think everybody already knows this, and I maybe even have brought it up on the podcast before, but because of the design of the suit and how big it was, especially the tail, the actor who was in it had to sit in like a special customized swing that would, hold him up.
You did tell me this.
Yeah, and also his tail. So yeah, in between takes, he would have to go sit on a swing. So you can just keep that in mind. And he's just, rocking back and forth.
That's so cute. speaking of things that we may have said on the podcast before that are also really great.
Yeah.
Actually, something crazy I read the other day is that like 2022 is the year Soylent Green is set. And you're like, fuck.
That's good to know.
I mean, I feel like that disdain for the future, like that capitalist disdain for the future that was in all dystopian movies of the 80s. We are feeling that disdain again now. So you're just like, I see how that was set now.
Well, I think largely some of that is due to, artists seeing laws that were being passed.
Like, oh yeah, if we don't fix shit by 20 whatever, it's gonna be shit. And then we're like, yeah, it is shit.
Yeah, and here we are now living through it. Yeah.
Through a pandemic and nobody can agree on like when to shop for bread. Like it'll be safe. Oh god.
Well, even just outside of that, yeah, corporations, they have too much power. And that's one of the great things about this movie.
Bringing it back.
That's the real true evil of Alien is that
the true message.
the aliens aren't nearly as dangerous as the fucking company who's just like, yeah, no, I mean, like, if you gotta eat all these guys, that's cool. Mother will, like, set coordinates, bring you back to Earth. Like,
Trust
they don't give
Mother.
a fuck.
Believe in Mother. And, like, Mother's run by Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too far off, yeah. Like, just, the sheer greed of it all. And it's like, for a fact that it's so much information is relayed to you through just like offhanded little bits of conversation because it's all common knowledge. Like there isn't going to be a scene where Ripley sits somebody down like, don't you remember there's a military division of the company back home and blah 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 blah. It's just like, oh yeah, they're probably going to take this for the military division. Like it's just under her breath at some moment, and you're like, oh yeah, they would try and take this and weaponize it.
Yeah, and the fact that there's a secret android on board, like one of their crew, there's only like 8 of them. One of them is a robot that was replaced at the last minute.
Who is essentially the person who has stopped Ripley from ensuring that something like this never happens. She's the one that's been like real adamant about breaking quarantine. Or about
following protocol.
Following protocol, keeping Kane quarantined. And I mean, realistically, he did not do shit to try and help Kane once they brought him on the
And also, as chief science officer, he should be leading the masking on the ship. And as somebody who's watching this in a pandemic, when they go in and Kane still has the face hugger on and nobody is wearing a goddamn mask, that is on Ash. That is totally on him. And he didn't need it because he's an android and he doesn't actually breathe.
Yeah, and he doesn't care if it takes out more people. It's probably not even going to attack him, right?
True.
Damn.
Yeah, he's fine.
What?
That's obviously why they wanted an android on the ship.
What do you think about his milk blood?
I don't like it.
I don't like it at all.
Especially when he's just a like floating head and he's talking. He's like, like sputtering it out.
It's everywhere. It's so gross.
Yeah, it is gross. Like, why couldn't it just be oil? I guess milk is spacey. It's because he works for Mother, so it's like Mother's milk.
Sure.
It's gross. Either way,
gross.
it's gross.
That fucking scene where he goes evil and we see like the one bead of milky sweat come down his
I know.
brow.
And you're like, what?
You're like, what the fuck is happening
is
right
he
now?
stressed or?
Oh yeah, that's a weird one. I hate it. It's real gross. I don't like it at all. Even in the second one, when Lance Henriksen is like split open and stuff, it's I've never liked it. It's all
you
gross
broke the
and
one
weird.
rule of NOS Fight Club. Is
We
don't talk about sequels.
We don't talk about the sequel? Shit.
At least when you're talking about the OG.
Okay. My favorite. So sorry, we glossed over this a little bit earlier, but I'd say one of my favorite moments with the xenomorph, because you were talking about things that scare you, and like every time he pops out, it's just fucking terrifying with his crazy weird web fingers, and he's all blah.
With his big man hands
With
is
his-
what I think I said.
I think that's what you said. Yeah, his hands are just too big. No human can have hands this big. There's a moment when it is attacking Yaphet Kotto and Kathy Cartwright. Is that her name? Lambert in the movie, who I just found out recently is the little girl from The Birds. Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I really hope I got her name right. Anyway, Yaphet Kotto gets in between her and the alien. It takes a big old chunk out of him. And when it turns, they definitely have him on like a skateboard or something, because it is such a smooth glide over toward her, but his hands are outstretched. And it's it does look great, because it's almost like he's floating through space to get to her.
But when you do get that glimpse of him, because it's the first time we've seen a lot of the xenomorph.
Yeah. He's
That
showing some
head-
jazz hands.
Okay, jazz hands indeed. But showing the whole head spectrum, those shoulders could not hold up that head. Like, that is a top-heavy boy.
Well, that's what makes this guy so scary.
Even a slight breeze. Like, when they're talking about perfect specimen, like, you just hit him with a leaf blower and he'll fall over. That head's so heavy.
Hey, man, bees aren't supposed to be able to fly, but they fucking defy physics and do it.
Good for bees.
Yeah, right? Not taking shit from nobody.
Descendants of the xenomorph. Do you want to talk about that finale? Because I'm pretty sure we get to see the xenomorph have a nap.
I think that's what's happening too, right? She startles it. She doesn't know that it's on the escape
I think
pod.
he was trying to be a sneaky boy.
So he snuck on the ship, found a good hiding spot,
and he's like, I'm gonna
giggled
ride back
to himself,
to Canada.
and then fell asleep.
Yeah.
Okay.
He thought he was being sneaky. He's like,
don't
I'll
think-
just have a little snooze in these here shadows, and he forgot he had a huge ass tail, and he like whip, and that was his downfall.
So he was dreaming, is what you're saying.
Yeah, a little
like he was
nightmare.
like chasing
there
a
is-
human being.
And his second mouth came out.
Yeah.
And it was like, chomp chomp.
I assume, and then maybe this is also why he doesn't eat the cat, that he's full. And he's already
like he's having his little turkey snooze, like
Yeah.
it's Thanksgiving, and he's just like, oh, big boy today.
Yeah, and who knows how big of a boy he's gonna be when he wakes up from that nap. Like he's gotten as much protein as he needs. He's gonna settle in, cocoon up maybe.
That's interesting because we have no idea, based on just this movie alone, if the xenomorph is its final form.
That's a really good point. Damn. I never necessarily thought about
Because
that.
that boy could get even bigger.
Every 15 minutes he turns into something else. You're right. Shit. But yeah, I think that's what was happening. I think he was just like having a quick little snooze. Because he doesn't immediately try and attack Ripley when she startles him, when he startles her. She's got enough time to sort of quietly go get her spacesuit on.
That's such a good scene.
Hum a little tune to herself while she gets the helmet in, secures herself down, and opens the escape door. It really isn't until she starts pressing buttons that he wakes up, because she's blasting him with cold air or something, I guess, right? And he looks real upset about it, like, God damn it, I can't get a moment's peace on this ship. It does so well what the whole rest of the movie does, is how it slows down for all of its scares, and it, like, don't breathe or something, right? Like, you are holding your breath, hoping that it's not gonna see them, hoping that they're gonna make it down that dark tunnel without anything happening. Its use of suspense in all of those moments is genius, or how it wields suspense.
Yeah, and
is
the
great.
restraint too, because you know that you have this killer fucking alien built and ready to go, and the fact that they do not overutilize it is so fucking smart.
Yeah, they show it off all the time. You never feel like you're seeing it too much though, and it's you also don't feel like you weren't given enough alien. Like it's all over the place, but it's not just little jump scares here and there.
Yeah, because in the hands of the wrong director, this could very much feel like they're being chased around by a dude in a suit.
Which is great, because that's exactly what it is, but it doesn't feel like that, right? Oh, it's so good. They really milked that explosion though. Like once it does explode in the distance, she's like escaped, everything's gonna be safe and all. She thinks. That fucking thing is like a supernova. Like
Three times.
Yeah, three separate explosions to take out this ship.
And she's like, take that, you thing.
And you think. Yeah, one, the corporation definitely did that because it looks cool, but secondly, to make sure that like no one can take our secrets.
The first one's for the living things, the second thing is for the proprietary information, and the third thing is so you'll never see me again.
If this movie was made now, though, we totally would have pulled out and seen that the xenomorph is in the ship with her, and then there would have been credits.
Right as she's pulling up to Earth.
Yeah. I was joking about that while we were watching it. Like, she's doing a 3-point turn between two spaceships, and when she looks to check her blind spot, blah, there's an alien there.
And then the credits.
Yeah.
That's an Alien movie. If Alien was made by Netflix.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
You would also see that at the very beginning, like, two days earlier. Like, oh, wow, how did we get here? I'm hooked now.
Or Ripley's being questioned, and they're just like, so, how are you the only surviving member of the Nostromo? She's like, let me tell you a story. And she, like, lights a cigarette. She puts it out on her knee or something.
The interrogation room
Yeah.
format. Classic. We should start doing this. We should start throwing some music underneath it and doing, like, a fake trailer. Like, if this movie came out tomorrow, what would it look like? Dun dun dun.
I just wanted to follow protocol.
Dun 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 dun. One woman. Against all odds.
All right, so there's probably going to be no surprises here, but John, what is your rating of Alien?
Yeah, my rating of Alien is a 4 out of 4.
Yeah.
4 out of 4 xenomorphs.
Yeah, I'm also 4 out of 4.
Yeah, this movie's a classic. It's incredible.
It's
I love
so good. Very spooky.
Yeah, and like I can totally see, honestly, even just the space sequences, like the operatic stuff. I love all that. I love seeing the miniatures. I love seeing like it just floating toward another planet and shit. Always looks good.
And yeah, there's something so fun about analog space stuff because there's so many buttons and dials and screens and stuff, and you're just like, oh, they worked so hard to make this all look like it does something.
And it's all dirty. Oh, I love how dirty it is. Nothing's clean and pristine and brand new. It all looks used.
Yeah, that's a point for them.
Yeah, that's a big 80s move. They're like, make it look dirty. It'll be believable. But that's just our opinion, man. Let us know what you thought of Alien, especially if this is your first time seeing it. I want to know how this movie hits in 2022 if you've never seen it before.
Did you know Ash was an android?
That's probably a spoiler that's kept, right? Like, I think it's just the chest burster thing.
Yeah, the chest burster is one that you really don't. But I mean, he gives off robot vibes.
When you know he's a robot, he gives off robot vibes. Yeah, that's true. Like, when you already know the ending, you're like, oh yeah, they really foreshadow this. I could see it ripples
he really
throughout the whole
acts
thing.
like a robot.
Yeah.
He's got a real lack of empathy.
I can't lie to you about your chances, but you have my sympathies.
Tweeted us at NOFS Podcast on Twitter. You can find us in the Nightmare on Film Street Discord at nofspodcast.com/Discord.
Please leave us a review and a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts if you enjoyed the show. Like and subscribe, follow wherever you get your podcasts, and join us in the Nightmare on Film Street Fiend Club at nofspodcast.com/Fiend Club for exclusive bonus content and access to the live watch parties that we host regularly. We're watching Scream 4 tonight, the day that this podcast drops, January 13th. Full details at nofspodcast.com/Fiend Club.
Yeah, and John recently just put up a bonus episode there with recommendations of our favorite festival finds of 2021. So 10 movies from the festival season.
Oh, there's more than 10. I did not limit myself.
10 plus-ish movies from the festival season that we both really enjoyed. So if you're looking for stuff that's going to be hitting release this year, hopefully likely.
Oh, yeah.
Hit up that episode. It's a bonus episode just for Fiend Club members.
And remember, next week we're talking about John Carpenter's The Thing. But until then, I'm John.
I'm Kim.
Stay creepy.
It appears you made it out alive, but we'll get you next time. Help us to grow the horde. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you subscribe. More terror can be found lurking on our website, nofspodcast.com. Until next time, stay creepy, fiends.
What?